And off we go into map 1. It is going to be Ankara. Fist bumps across the board. Never mind. I've just been told there are some issues, so might be taking a little bit longer to get into game than we had hoped for, which is disappointing. Obviously, the teams, you know, they thought they were going in, right? And that's that big moment where you feel like that pressure releases finally there after having built up throughout the day. But okay, not too long. Straight in. Don't worry about it. Here we go. And let's see what Ice Cube can do. He's the focal point definitely for ranking with that Orb in hand, and he's the high stat player coming into this one. Can he stave off BaiSha?
Not a bad start from him. Gets the opening pick onto 5-7-7. The follow-up a little bit slow from BaiSha, not looking to recontest over towards the B tunnels just yet. Now shifting over towards that A bomb site in mid positioning. There's going to be 3 players stacked on it for the side of ranking, so they've got a nice little setup here ready to go, but they've got to know just as well as we do, a 4v5 for BaiSha isn't a scary place to be.
Yeah. You can see that BaiSha just moves through the map with a little bit more decisiveness than some of the other teams we've got here at the Summer Championship. Not wasting any time. Couple of quick smokes over toward the B site and then rotating back over to A through the vent. Only a couple of players here to defend with, and Nevis will toss his flash nade out. Hyomio does the same. BaiSha just waiting out all of that util.
Nice headshot there from Hyomio. Already a 5-on-3. They're doing exactly what they need to. Getting these players caught alone one at a time, and now they've got a nice advantage to try and close out this first round. They've looked very solid on their defense as well. BaiSha, though, getting a little bit too overzealous on some of these peaks. Getting caught early on is going to be something I hope they correct sooner or later. But Hyomio gets the follow-up shot as well, takes down 9. And this is looking like a really solid start.
Yeah, certainly not a single kill for BaiSha so far, and maybe they won't even get one in this round. That would be exactly the kind of start the ranking is looking for. They drop one player, but you can hear the crowd going a bit crazy in the background, I'm sure. Very happy to see that first round go the way of ranking in such a decisive fashion as well.
Yeah, very one-sided round. BaiSha getting caught left and right. And the shots equally strong on the side of ranking. Hyomio especially impressing me with those opening 2 kills he was able to grab for his team. But now, this is where BaiSha is going to realize what they're up against, and this is where ranking has to be ready. It's not just going to be a situation where they can start easily stringing these rounds together, but Ice Cube, again, gets the first pick of the round for the side of ranking. He's able to fall off untraded, and BaiSha, they almost look a little bit disjointed here on these pushes, getting caught very early on, time and time again. They've got to find a way to correct it.
It's a good sharp shot from Ice Cube, to be fair, both of them. Starting to get an idea as to why he's the highest rated player on this ranking esports roster. 5-7-7, little bit of a whiff there. Maybe a slow start today for BaiSha, but they do, in the end, get the job done onto Fatcons. He'll drop and bring it back to the 4-on-4, and now BaiSha is able to split the defense. They're right in between a couple of the ranking esports camps. 5-7-7, not making a mistake this time. Headshot to finish off Nevis. And this is a bit more like it from BaiSha. It took them a while to wake up, but now they've arrived. They're not looking like they're going to drop this round.
Yeah, and that's where the early pick isn't going to be a huge advantage against BaiSha. They know how to convert these rounds. Ice Cube, though, a great follow-up shot, takes down 5-7-7. But that's going to be it. 1-1 on the table now. BaiSha, that aggression through mid, very tough to handle. It looks like we are going to see a pause coming out from the side of BaiSha. A bit of a tech pause on their side of things. Hopefully they can get it resolved soon, but at least a positive start on both ends, I would say. I mean, the opening round, very one-sided for ranking, but the answer right back, pretty much one-sided now on the BaiSha side.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've been impressed so far with the shots that Ice Cube has been hitting. He's got 3 kills so far. Every single one of them looking pretty sharp with that AWP. And, well, he's going to be a key to the success, particularly when they're playing on Global Risk. But First we have to get through this tech pause and sort it out. Haven't yet been informed what the pause is.
Yeah, not sure what the situation is here, but we'll see if Ranking can continue to keep this one close. And this is where we do hope to see a little bit more strength coming out of them. The second round is where they have already started to look a little bit shaky. You can see the Ranking jerseys in the stands here, though. Definitely some hometown support, hoping they can pull off an incredible upset. And if they were to do this here, it would have to be one of the biggest upsets of all time, because BaiSha, they're kind of at their peak right now, Ranking a young team. We haven't really seen a team kind of come out of nowhere and take out a team like BaiSha before, but honestly, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, me too. I think it would be pretty hype. Not so sure it's going to happen, though. Looks like their tech pause is going to be done shortly. Everyone's leaving the booth. I saw some thumbs ups going around. So I think we'll be ready to get back into it. Looks like a mic issue for BaiSha was the reason for the pause. Nothing too major. Seems to have been sorted out pretty quick smart.
Yeah, it should be just a matter of moments before we hop in here. It is going to be 1-1 coming out of the pause as we hop back into our first map of the series, Ankara. BaiSha still on that blacklist side, trying to get that early momentum back in their hands. But Tom, nice opening pick, gets the kill. The double sniper setup starting to look pretty good for Ranking, consistently netting them that opener at the very least. But this is where they've got to be ready for the follow-up. BaiSha responded nicely, but Ice Cube again gets himself a nice kill. 4 kills for him already in this matchup. BaiSha trying to kind of force the issue towards this A bomb site, but there is still not a whole lot of room to play with. They're going to go back towards the middle section of the map, maybe challenging Fotcons in that direction, but they haven't found anything in terms of picks.
Yeah, BaiSha's going to have to give Ranking a little bit more respect than they are at the moment. You can see a lot of dry peeks into those snipers. Just expecting to win the aim duels, and it's obviously not working out quite so easily for them. Humio trying to defend the bomb site. The issue is going to be, though, for Ranking, like, yeah, you can get a 2-player advantage, but if you squander it in the same fashion as we've just seen in the last couple of rounds, then maybe it doesn't matter. BaiSha just still seem to have enough to get through these rounds into the 2-on-2 now with that plant going down.
Yeah, it's a really tough position now. Ice Cube and Nevis left on the retake. Nevis, we haven't seen much from him yet. It would be a great time to see this guy come to life in the matchup. The counter flash comes out, but this is a great plant position. They've planted for the GR spawn. The C4 has so much timing they can work with from here that they may just be able to stall the clock and win the round, because look at the time here. They've got to go for the Ninja Defuse, and are they going to get it here? They still have Nevis on the bomb. The Ninja Defuse is going to happen. XQ1 has no time to stop it, and Ranking steal away the round with less than 10 HP on both remaining players.
Yeah, that's a little bit disappointing for BaiSha. Maybe a little bit of a miscommunication, or the bomb wasn't planted exactly where it needed to be. When you're spamming into that smoke, sometimes it's an inch that makes the mile. And so Ranking do find their second round. Not a super comfortable one by any stretch of the imagination. Double Orm set up again from BaiSha, but again it's Ice Cube to open the account. This guy is an absolutely nutty player. You can already get that sense from him. 7-1. U9 will go down to Humio. Ranking are bringing out unbridled aggression to this game, and BaiSha just don't really have the answers for it at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Ranking, every opening round situation seems to be going their way, which is pretty remarkable to see so far. 9 only on a 1-3 KD, down to half HP in this round as well. 5-7-7, though, trying to turn things back in favor of BaiSha. But look at Nevis on this position. He's going to be caught off guard from XQ1 on the backstab to make this one a 3-on-2. Ice Cube still alive, though, gives us a glimpse of hope they could still win this round.
Yeah, Ranking has been good at getting those initial frags, but they haven't been quite so good in the mid-rounds. That is where BaiSha have excelled. Tam's in a nice position to make a difference prior to the plant going down. But even that would only bring it back to a 2-on-2, and now his position is known. BaiSha is going to throw a flurry of frag grenades in that direction. And plant on the floor for BaiSha. Advantage, 3-on-2.
Yeah, now they've got to play retake with 2 OMs, which is not ideal to try and make work here. The time's ticking, though. They've only got half the bomb timer left to go. One of them has to take the gamble to try and just go in and take the shot onto 9, holding this off angle. Here comes the double peek. Ice Cube, though, able to find himself one, almost a shot at another. He's going to be taken down by XQ1, but there's no time to grab this defuse. Tom has to go in swinging, and it's just not going to happen. BaiSha tie this one up 2-2.
2 apiece. Impressed nonetheless so far by Ranking. How they're taking it to BaiSha at the moment. Haven't really let this one spiral out of control. Early smokes this time now from BaiSha. But once again, I just want to make sure that they're not taking these dry peaks onto the long-range angles that the Orms can excel in.
An interesting change, though. 9 going to be bringing out the OM to try and answer the double OM setup on the opposite side of things. It's definitely not something we see too much from him. Usually an AK in his hands, but he's had a tough go of it so far, so I'm not surprised to see a bit of a curveball coming out to maybe get him that confidence on his shot. Neither player connects, though, in the underpass exchange. It's going to be BaiSha now with their eyes set towards the A-bomb site. They've got all 5 players grouping up for it. It's going to be a 2-man hold. Humio, though, last time they came over this direction, was able to hold it off quite nicely. Nevis in there for the support as well now.
Yeah, that's a big stack over towards B, so it's going to take Ranking a long time to get across to A right here. BaiSha straight in off the back of all those flashes, and it's just an utter slaughterhouse right now. The flashes continue to affect Nevis and Humio. It's taken a little while for BaiSha to make inroads, and so the rotation has come across in time, but held at bay by the smoke.
The nades trying to go down onto Woonan. I'm surprised he's still alive in the back of sight. Less than 10 HP to work with, actually 3 specifically for the remainder of this one. It's going to be the full push coming through. Ranking going to find one right away, but it's 577 who gets the double, make it a triple kill. The complete and utter shutdown comes through, and that's the BaiSha post-plant situation we come to expect, and that's what you've got to be ready for on the side of Ranking. Only one player is all it takes for BaiSha to have an explosive round.
Yeah, can't really be allowing them to get away with something like that. 577 should absolutely have been traded there. That's going to give confidence over to BaiSha. Much better stuff from BaiSha, starting to use their util early outside of A rather than just dry peeking into the Orms. Hasn't kept Ranking at bay, though. They've really pushed hard out of A. Nevis on a bit of an off angle here. Might be able to find 1 or 2. 2's good. 2 for 1, you'll take that. These Ranking players are sharp, I will give you that.
Yeah, really doing a good job of holding things off on the GR side. Shao as well runs into trouble, taken down to 20 HP. Ranking, all they've got to do is hold on to the numbers. They'll be in a great spot to close this one out. XQ Lun backing out of that mid-exchange. The C4 down in the B connector. They're going to be working their way now towards the B bomb site. There's actually no defender directly on it for Ranking. This could be a bit of a misread, but XQ Lun, he's going to take this one head on. Shao finds a pick onto Humio, and just like that, it's a very winnable round now for BaiSha. Tom able to get that late trade onto XQ Lun, and it's even things to the 2v2.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, BaiSha, they suffer losses early on, but Ranking haven't been able to put themselves into winning positions, even though they're getting those opening frags. I would say it's actually a scary sign. You know, it's positive in the sense that they can get the opening frags, but it's really scary if these rounds are still kind of going the way of BaiSha. You have to wonder how hard is it going to be for Ranking to win a round if they don't get the opening frag? Because even when they do, oftentimes they're not winning those rounds. Wunan just shuts down Ice Cube. This is not acceptable for Ranking Esports. If you are given a 2-for-1 at the start of the round, as often as they have been, you can't afford to be down 4-2 on your map pick.
Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing about how this map's played out so far. I actually think every round except for one, they've had the opening advantage. So giving up so many of those rounds is just a lot of small errors on the side of Ranking, but this just shows you the difference between these two teams. BaiSha, regardless of numbers, they convert the rounds. The individuals here can do the heavy lifting all across the board, and you have to be able to answer that if you're Ranking. You can't get the numbers lead, feel like you're safe against this team, because we've seen everyone on this BaiSha roster win these clutch situations, and I just don't think Ranking is up to snuff here.
Yeah, it's starting to swing the other way now, isn't it? Really has taken a while for BaiSha to wake up, but now that they have, well, Kiyomiya does double down in the vent, but again, there's a trade, and it's still 3-on-3, and in these 3-on-3s, BaiSha have been a little better. Wunan is the trade man today. He's got himself another one there. Do need to find a way to get that plan, and it will be going down. Xiao looking in the right direction with that Orm. Expecting the wrap to come from behind.
Yeah, the time is ticking though. Tom and Fotcons have to work their way in. Xiao gets a sense of what's going on. Wunan gets the first. It's down to the 1v1. Wunan, all he has to do is play that clock here. He's got the time on his side, but here comes the swing from Tom. Is he gonna get it though? Yes, he is, just in time. He's gonna get that defuse with a matter of seconds to spare, and he keeps it a lot closer, 4-3 as we move forward.
Yeah, Wunan needed a bit of help in that round. He was the one that was doing everything. Xiao was fully flashed, couldn't really do much on the entry of those two Ranking players. So BaiSha drop another one, 4-3. Scoreline still favoring them.
A lot of early utility being exhausted here towards the A bomb site, but it's actually 9 who gets the opener. Ice Cube no longer that key entry fragger, and this is the situation we were talking about. How are they going to handle now a round where they don't have that early advantage? Because even where they do, it looks still slightly in favor of BaiSha, but now they've got to fight from behind.
Yeah, mid-control for BaiSha seems to be the name of the game in this round. They will work their way through the connector into B. They could just well wrap behind Fatcons, who is certainly not paying any attention to B at the moment. Xiao and Tam potentially poised for a sniper battle in middle, but Tam's caught off guard. They've just completely disregarded that connector Ranking, and you know that's sometimes what you have to do when you're down a member, and in this case, BaiSha have been able to find that hole in the defense and take advantage of it.
Yeah, now 1v4 for Humio. Surely no way out of this one. He's going to be spotted out early on here. The collapse is going to come through shortly. Humio, though, at least good for one. The time is ticking, though. There's no time to waste. He has to take the fight. 5-7-7 will find the last kill of the round to make this a 5-3 lead now for BaiSha, but looks like we are going to see another brief pause coming through, but BaiSha in a good position now as we continue forward. It is going to be up to Ranking to answer back, but I've got to say, so far it has looked a little bit closer than I initially anticipated.
Yep, I would agree. Got to give credit to Ranking for making it as close as they currently are. So once again, a bit of an issue for BaiSha with something. At least there's been a little bit to cheer about for the local crowd. So far, still very much favoring BaiSha to finish this off. There is a sound delay, apparently, which is the technical issue, so I'm not sure exactly what that means.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the issue may need to get fixed, but ranking, we'll see if they can close out potential one-round half difference, which for them would be a really good sign on the side of the map. It is a blacklist-sided map, and the fact that BaiSha hasn't got that big of a momentum swing in their direction could be a good chance for them if they have a good blacklist half planned here to maybe bring this first map back after all, because as much as we've doubted them, they've looked pretty solid in what they can do, but a lot of it's actually come through thanks to Ice Cube. His performance individually has been very impressive to me, and what he's done with that Om in his hands, and really someone who's surprised me in a pretty big way. And I'm actually looking to him moving forward to kind of lead this team and maybe do even more.
Yeah, certainly. Not going to be the easiest of tasks, obviously, against a squad like BaiSha's, but maybe some of the other teams in this group. Vasco definitely looks like they could be beatable for ranking, I would say. GV as well, you'd probably think that at least the performance that ranking is putting up at the moment, they might be able to get the better of GV Esports too. So seems like a pretty good spot to be in.
Yeah, I feel like if you're looking at potential likelihood for how things could go, I think there's definitely a world where ranking could beat Vasco, but then GV beats ranking. I think regionally they match up in a way where that could align. In that situation, I don't know who gets the better of it and goes through. Probably GV, the team to go down and out in that situation, just because I would assume they end up being the team out of the three that gets the least amount of rounds against BaiSha, considering they already lost pretty handedly and already we're seeing a bit of a stronger fight. But to be fair, this is just the first map. The second map could be a lot more of a one-sided affair, especially if BaiSha gets some momentum and closes out this map. It becomes that much more difficult to respond to BaiSha, I feel like, when they have that confidence and momentum you're up against.
Yeah, well, certainly. We'll wait for this tech pause to get sorted out. Seems like everyone has exited the booth of BaiSha again. So we should be all right. Got the munchies. We'll mind a bit of a snack later on.
Oh, man. It's going to be a tough one. The suspense building, it almost might be a bit of a downer to the early momentum that ranking had, I feel like, as well. They were on a bit of a tear for a bit, getting all of the early entries. They've only had 1 or 2 rounds where they haven't won the entry frags overall, which I think that's been the biggest selling point for how good this team is so far. It's just been disappointing that they can't close them out as often as they obtain those advantages. So hopefully that's something they can sort out moving forward, but it'll be much harder to do when they switch sides as well. Still waiting to resolve this technical pause, though. Hopefully we can get it sorted out in a few short moments for you guys and be back with it. BaiSha just having some technical issues on their side of the field here, but if you guys are just tuning in with us, it's our final match of day 2, just the first map in this series. BaiSha leading at 5-3 at the pause, and presumably on path to take a 2-0. I believe this would make them the first team to lock in for a playoff spot if they win this one 2-0.
Yeah, I'd say you're correct. GV and Vasco, we only have Vasco 1-0, GV 0-2, Imperial Cara House. Imperial's 1-1, Cara House is 1-1. in their group. So, yeah, if BaiSha were to win, they would be the only team to have played 2 and won 2. But if ranking win, hey, I mean, then anybody's guess as to how that group's going to go.
Yeah, it could be a big curveball, but assuming BaiSha wins here, but you never know what can happen. I guess one thing we could talk about during the pause here is now that we've seen, a bit of gameplay from both BaiSha and All Gamers, and maybe thinking ahead, do you have maybe a front runner in your mind when those two teams presumably meet later in the playoff stages?
I mean, if you were to ask me at the end of day 1, I probably would have said I thought BaiSha looked a little bit better, but I think noting that All Gamers played against Imperial, bit of a tougher matchup maybe than what BaiSha has faced so far, and the fact that BaiSha is, I would say, having some difficulty getting the dub here against ranking. I'm going to give it to All Gamers at the moment. So if it does eventuate, maybe that recency bias as well from the more recent results, you could make an argument that All Gamers looks a little better.
Yeah, they do have today off, though. They'll come back, I believe, tomorrow playing against Imperial, which should actually be an interesting one for how that group plays out, because Imperial looked really good today. I think the All Gamers matchup could be the first chance we see at an upset going in that direction. But I think overall, for me, Cara House is the team that's going to be the wild card in the group overall, because after their loss today, they have to just bounce back big time with a win over AG to get out of the group, which would be an insane way to do it, but it doesn't seem too likely. Between BaiSha and All Gamers, though, I think I'd give BaiSha the edge right now. It just seems like in events like this, they adapt to the format a little bit faster. Even though they look shakier map by map, I just feel like they've got that firepower edge over All Gamers. And I believe All Gamers is also a bit of a younger lineup nowadays than what we're used to seeing from their side as well. A lot of the players have been changed out in the last couple of years, but I guess you see a couple new guys on the side of BaiSha as well. Shao, pretty new to the mix. 577, I believe this is only his second year as well, but you do have veterans still like Woonan and Nine who have been around on this team for, I think Nine actually might have been in the very first Crossfire Stars. I'm interested to see if there'll be a player at this year's CFS who's actually made it all 10 years. He might be the one who's been in the first and the 10th anniversary, which would be cool to see someone make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I go back to when I first started casting Crossfire and I look to the 2015 Grand Finals, WQ in particular was one that I remember. He was on HG back then and they won that year. And, well, he's coaching BaiSha this time around, so it'll be a good little helping hand for that team if you're bringing in those newer members. I don't know what's happening with this TAC timeout, by the way, or tech timeout. But at this point, obviously, we're just waiting for the game to get underway. So there's only so much we can really say. Apologies for the delay.
It's almost time. Hopefully, it looks like the teams are starting to get ready to hop back in for this one. You can see the crowd still keeping their energy, hoping that ranking can do something a little bit insane in this one, but you've got to be a little bit crazy to tackle the reigning world champions in pretty close to top form. A little bit shaky around the edges in the early rounds so far, but it's these late round situations where they're going to thrive. But hey, there we go. We are back into it. The final round of our first half on Ankara. BaiSha up 5-3 on their BL side, looking to maybe make this a 6-3 half.
Ooh.
Ice Cube, he goes down a little bit too early. This time they don't have the advantage. Nine, though, he's working his way in so quickly. 577 finds himself another Tom trying to get out of there, running for dear life. And finally he goes down. It's a 2-on-5 situation. Nevis and Humio trying to find that redemption, but it doesn't seem likely.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that one. It's an almost repeat of BaiSha's very first round. of the map, but the difference is Ice Cube did not hit the shot this time, and so BaiSha steamrolled their way into B. Looks like it's going to be a 6-3 at the end of the half. That extended pause. I always like the fast play out of the extended pause. I think that's a great strat to bring to the table, and you can see why it works. It just catches people off guard. They're just not, not quite feeling it the same way they used to, and so 6-3 is the scoreline. And back to the player camps.
Yeah, you love to see it here from BaiSha, really cranking up the heat here in a nice commanding fashion to close out that final round. And this is where you've got to deal with the beast you've awakened now for the side of ranking, because BaiSha, you can tell they're hungry to push this one forward a little bit more assertively than how they started. And now that they're not getting those opening picks, it's so much harder of a situation for ranking to close out, because even when they had the numbers, the rounds were kind of down to a lot of 1v1, 1v2 situations. Now it just seems like they're caught on the back foot time and time again here, and it doesn't seem to be getting any easier, so we'll see what they do.
Yep. Moving into the second half, Xiao, what kind of an impact is he going to have with the sniper once they move on to GR? Is Ice Cube going to be as effective on the attacking side? You know, it's a little bit more difficult traditionally to snipe when you're on the attack. So he may find things a little bit more difficult after the halftime swap.
Yeah, at this point it is going to be a tough one for Ice Cube, I think, to remain consistent to what we saw in those opening 5 or 6 rounds from him. I think really at this point it's going to be up to the guys on BaiSha to keep this steamroller moving forward, because now that they've started to get things going in the early round, they already know they're the team that's better in the late round. It puts that pressure on ranking to really do something spectacular. Otherwise, if they don't bring their best game here, it's just not going to be winnable. That's the tough thing when you're in this position up against the experience of BaiSha Gaming. It's not only an okay or decent game you need to play for ranking to win here. It's probably the best game they've ever played they need to take down a team of this caliber.
Yep. Well, how long do these teams have to wait to go into that second half, and what kind of conversations are they having in the meanwhile? Yeah, a little bit to think about, definitely, when you're down 6-3 on your own map choice. Started really nicely for ranking. Thought that they might be able to cut the mustard against BaiSha, but once again, that experience does reign supreme.
Yeah, right now as we get ready for our second half on Ankara, it's going to be up to ranking to claw this one back, but BaiSha, they're the powerhouses here. They even kind of hinted at it in the video for themselves with ranking. The goal for them was really just to make the top 4, because for them, it would be the first time they make a playoffs on the international stage. And when you look at the rest of the group, at least, I can definitely see that opportunity on the table. But here we go, right back into it, 6-3. BaiSha in the lead as they move to the global risk side to show us what they can do on the defenses. But as we know, this is a team that loves to push forward, grab that early map control on their defensive half, and already they're taking these aim duels. It's going to be 5-7-7, looking for the challenge on A long. Not going to find anything yet. You've got Xiao underneath in the underpass as well, trying to find the early player, but nobody on ranking going too far in here.
Yeah, a little quicker into mid from ranking Esports, but once they get there, they stall things up. What do they want to do once they've got that mid control? If you continue forward, you're up against 9, who on the other side of the field is probably the scariest individual in this competition at the moment. Xiao's watching the connector. Gonna have to get a bit of a wriggle on though. Minute 15 on the clock. Ranking will decide that they're gonna head on in. Good nade damage already onto Fatcons. Exulon has spotted out the info, and that's going to prompt the swing from Wu9, who has more angles to worry about, but he's all good from that side. And looks like BaiSha is more than comfortable with finishing this round off as well. Ice Cube is the last alive. That was really more of a formality than anything else from BaiSha.
Yeah, BaiSha at this point, they've got everything rolling in their direction, and they've just got to keep pushing forward. It's going to be up to Ranking to try and put a stop to this, but at this point, they've got to dig deep to make that happen, because BaiSha, they are ready to hit the finish line here in map number 1. If they do it here, it seems pretty likely they can carry this forward into a 2-0 sweep. I thought after the first few rounds, it was going to be a little bit more competitive, but now this is kind of the BaiSha standard. They start to pull away, and they don't really stop here, but Ice Cube, he's trying to be that player who can help pull his team back into this match. Gets the opening pick onto 5-7-7, a good way to get it started. But again, even without the numbers, this is a deadly sight hold to go up against, because it's 9 as the anchor.
Yeah, but 9 alone, how much can you really expect from him? Bit of an off angle and dealt with comfortably by Hiomio. You'd look at that and say, well, that pretty much should be the round done and dusted. A side control completely given up. BaiSha all having to rotate in through the same angle, already smoked off. I wouldn't give them the benefit of the doubt to win this one, even though they are a strong squad. That said, Xulun has gone toward equalizing the numbers, and those are some silly mistakes, silly kills to be giving away for Ranking Esports. You just don't need to be getting into fights at that point. Now it's gone from a 5-on-3 to a 3-on-3. Flashes up over the top. And BaiSha in with a real chance here. Xiao hits another nice shot, this time onto Nevis. Wu9 will get traded down by Xulun, and Falcons has gone nowhere at all. I just don't understand. It's a 5-on-3, and they're giving up kills like that.
Yeah, that's not a round you can afford to lose. Now it's pretty much the writing on the walls here. That map 1 should be done and dusted in favor of BaiSha, because there's just no cohesion on these post plants. I mean, you have everything you need there to get such an ideal round and keep this one a little bit closer. It could have been a 7-4 game, something at least swingable back in their direction, but now BaiSha, they're in full control here. Falcons as well getting pressured from Wunan. Xiao gets the opening pick. Ice Cube as well. He's down and out. Not who you want to see fall early for the side of Ranking, but this could unfortunately spell the beginning of the end.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. I mean, I feel as though this game has been a little bit closer than the scoreline actually shows. It's just that Ranking hasn't actually converted the rounds they should have. And it's a bit disappointing that that has been the case, because they have looked quite the prospect. But at the end of the day, if you don't win the rounds, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how decent you look. Wu9's on the push here. Ooh, might just have found that timing to allow Hiomio out, and that is going to be to his detriment. So it will be brought back to the 4-on-4.
They've got a chance now. The push, though, not going to be going in towards that B bomb site yet. It's actually going to be the bomb sitting in the back of B connector, slowly now rotating towards that A bomb site where 5-7-7 waits alone. He does have the support now of 9 on the rotation. BaiSha seem to have caught on to where this rotation is coming from. But with the time ticking, they've got to move in pretty quickly here to make this one happen. 5-7-7 and 9, they're going to be that first point of contact, trying to hold this one off as the push comes through. You can see the nice little fake there towards the B bomb side as well. I like the effort coming out from Humio, but it is going to be Ranking who go in for this A push. Tom actually finds the first. 5-7-7 goes down. 9 left alone to hold on to the site. He's going to be flashed and naded into this back corner pocket position. He's taken down by Tom as well. And now it's going to be a 2-on-4. Make it a 1-on-4. Humio gets it done in Ranking. That is a huge round going their way.
Yeah, you really need 5-7-7 to be able to grab at least a frag there. Once it's 9 solo and he's stuck at that back box, there's really not a whole lot he can do, right? He doesn't have a lot of agency from that position. He can take the peak, but, you know, like, they know exactly where he is. They're tossing utility in his direction. They're flashing him out. They're nading him out. And they're all keeping their guns trained in that direction. As soon as he swings, he's done for. So not really much for him, unfortunately, to be done there. A couple of unfortunate rounds for 9, to be quite honest, in this half, where he's had to sort of try to solo hold the bomb site, and that's never easy.
Certainly isn't, but ranking, they fire back strong for that 4th round, but it's so much work to do to even bring this to a tie at this point. You'd have to think it's almost impossible, but BaiSha, they're going to be playing this one still pretty safe. A 2-1-2 setup across the board, waiting and seeing what ranking might do. Nevis here, you can tell he's hungry to challenge onto the mid windows in the GR spawn. Humio as well, along with Fotcons, working their way underneath in the B tunnel, trying to find their way through the underpass, but ranking, they still have this hesitation in going for the forward control. That could be tough to go up against. Xiao, though, misses the initial shot here. It's going to be an opportunity to work their way in, but they actually don't capitalize on it. They back off, they reset, and now they work their way back towards long.
Look, I mean, if I was ranking at the moment, I'd say actually I think A site has been where they've found a lot of their success, and that would probably be where I'd be looking to default back to after taking control on the other side of the map. But in this case, they want to pressure on B and mid. Tam has found 9. That is in mid. But still 3 members of BaiSha over toward B right here. It's going to make that a difficult bomb site to break open. Especially with little time. They're really waiting this timer down. 577's gone hunting for info, and that might actually draw the rotation back from ranking. They know they've killed one of the B players. Oh, sorry, one of the A players late in the round. Rotations on all sides from BaiSha. This could still actually devolve into a really chaotic round with only 20 seconds left right here. Xiao and Wunan are in with a chance. Surely not ranking. They have not left this one too late. Thank God. They get those final couple of kills. It was scary, though.
It really was, especially the bomb going in first, getting downed there by Wunan. Almost spelled disaster, but ranking, they get 2 in a row now. They're back in the fight, at least for now. In this round, a lot of early pressure towards the A-long control. It's going to be 4 players on ranking, making the early move over here, just leaving it to Tom to hold off this mid-aggression right now. We do see BaiSha continuing to play fairly passive, which is actually a big surprise to me here. I thought after the first half ending they might be a little bit more assertive and play a little bit more forward, but they're just kind of reluctant to go for any forward aggression.
Yeah, I mean, the difference in this round is that they've actually stacked 3 players over toward A, so there's an extra member there. 577, oh! Ice Cube missed the shot, and so once his teammate Humio goes down, it's quite an easy routine spray transfer for 577 there. The Orm just can't fire that fast to find the trade. Bad news for ranking in this round.
Bad news indeed. The bomb going to be stuck in a connector here as they try and work their way back towards a mid push. The rotations going to be pretty solid from BaiSha, moving back to the 2-1-2 setup, leaving 9 as that player in the GR spawn to try and call them out as they push through. It is going to be the sneak across attempt here into the tower. I'm not sure if they spotted Fotcons here sneaking his way up. They're not going to see him too soon. He doesn't hit that shot, though, onto Wunan, and now his position's been compromised. The nades come down, but he is kind of stuck here in the tower. Tom somehow steals away the pick onto Xiao, and now they've got a fighting chance here.
Yeah, but 4 on 3 doesn't really fill me with a whole lot of confidence for ranking. Got numbers over on this side of the map as well from BaiSha, and 9 headshot onto Nevis. Tam spotted out the player on the bomb site, needs to do a little bit more than that. 9 is on a tear in this round. He's been quiet so far on this map. Trade should be in there, and it is. So that is the 9th on the board now for BaiSha. It's been a very long map, obviously, with the tech pauses involved. But we are getting to the end of it, and it looks like it is going to be BaiSha pretty comfortably. Maybe another 10-5 on the cards.
Could very well be at this point. They're approaching the finish line on map number 1, but ranking, They want to take this challenge right to them. Unan, big double kill, opens up the round. Gets the triple kill as well. That's going to be a devastating blow to the already tough-looking morale on the side of ranking. Tom and Ice Cube, the two sniper mains for this team left alone. Ice Cube, though, does have an M4 in this 2-on-4 situation.
They've got bomb. BaiSha has got the bomb. Are they aware of that? If they are, why are they not rotating 5-7-7 across? He's just anchoring over toward A. And even now, you're kind of seeing 9 like watching mid, but doesn't matter. Xiao will have it locked down.